Hi, I am Arundel County Executive Stuart Pittman, and this is the very first episode of Tuesday Night with County Executive Pittman. And it's not really new because we used to call it Build Back Better. And I have to tell you that the Anne Arundel County Ethics Commission got a complaint that we were using Joe Biden's slogan, even though we were using it before Joe Biden and there were other people using it before us. For some reason, they told us that we should stop using those three words together, Build Back Better. I will still use them. I just won't put them in capitals, and it won't be the title of this because they're very appropriate words to use after a pandemic. But it doesn't really matter. Tuesday night is kind of like Saturday night. We might make a little jingle to go along with it, but this is our first episode. And I'm joined by, I think, probably the best people in Anne Arundel County. I'm joined by the people who help the people in Anne Arundel County who are in the greatest need. And they call themselves the cricket team, at least when they gather like this. And it's not the kind of cricket that they play in England and other places in the world. It's oh my goodness, I can't even remember. It's Community Resource, what is it, Pam?
Community Resource Initiative Care Team.
Care team, right? Okay. Everybody just calls it cricket because that's easier. But here's what we're going to do. This is different than anything we've done. It's kind of like acting. It's kind of like a role play because we couldn't do a real live cricket gathering. Because what cricket is an opportunity for a family, usually a representative of the family, sometimes more than one, to meet with a group of providers of social services, the school system, everything from mediation to every service that family might need is brought together in one place. And we've all heard stories, even if we haven't experienced it, about how difficult it is to be poor, especially in Anne Arundel County, but a lot of places, that you have to put a huge amount of time into trying to figure out whether there's a safety net, whether there are programs to help you get your family back on its feet. People are brought into the cricket team for assistance, sometimes when they are actually homeless, other times when they're at risk of being homeless. It's usually a person or a family who has multiple challenges that they're trying to address. So rather than telling them to call 10 different people and 10 different agencies and sit on hold and hope to figure out a plan, Anne Arundel County has started to do something that is pretty impressive. I think it was started by Pam Brown, the Partnership for Children, Youth, and Families, which is sort of a quasi government and nonprofit that brings together the resources in the county to make sure that needs are getting addressed. And I heard about it the first time from, it was right after I was elected. We did a little Christmas party, and I think it was an ugly shirt contest. And if you wore an ugly shirt, you got to put your name in a hat. And then they pulled the names out of the hat. And the name they pulled out got to have coffee with the new county executive who had just taken office. And a woman named Gwen Branch, who works for the partnership, had the ugly sweater and got her name pulled out of the hat. And I met with her, and she told me about this thing called cricket, and she gave me a pamphlet. And I said, wow, that's really cool. We really ought to figure out a way for the public to be able to experience what this is about. And then not maybe 6 months, or maybe it was a year later, we submitted cricket as a nomination to the Maryland Association of Counties for an innovative, effective county government program. And it won the award, and they were presented the award in Ocean City. And that was pretty neat too. And then I finally got around to attending cricket 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I sat in on, I think it was 2.5 different families. I had to leave halfway through the third. And I have to tell you that just observing and watching the process was, it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking to see just how difficult the situations were that people were dealing with. One was a woman living in a hotel with her kids
Did we lose the county executive?
He is frozen.
I think we lost our county executive. But I think that's the first time this has ever happened.
I mean, these are often people who are working really hard and trying to get to the next level. And so it was sad, but at the same time, watching the team in action was really inspiring. And by the end of it, each one had a plan. They had specific things that they knew that they were going to do and that others were going to do with them. And it created a sense of hope. I know it's not a happy outcome for everybody, but it's a really amazing process. And by watching it, you also get a sense of what government, and to some degree, some of the nonprofits working with government can provide. And unfortunately, it's a whole bunch of Band-Aids. It's not a real safety net. It's not what this country ought to be providing, one of the richest countries in the world. But it's what we've put together to try to meet needs. And it's what the good people who work in these agencies have put together with very few resources to try to meet needs. So it's really kind of inspiring that way. So what we're going to do is I'm going to turn it over first to Pam, Pam and Deirdre Berry, who are going to introduce the team and tell you more about how it works. And then we're actually going to have a mom come in and we're going to hear about her problems, and we're going to watch the team help this mom. This mom is actually a member of the team who's acting because we didn't want to have a real family come in and share their story to the public. But I hope you get as much out of this as I got out of the one that I did a couple of weeks ago. So turning it over to you, Pam.
Hi, everybody. So from this point on, we're going to just behave as we always do at every cricket team. So Deirdre, do we have our mum with us? Is Mrs. Mockingham with us?
We do. The family has arrived, so we're ready to begin.
Good evening, Mrs. Mockingham. How are you?
I'm here. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Welcome to the cricket team. We're a group of people from all the different agencies in the county who get together twice a month in partnership with families to try and be as helpful as we can. Our old process used to be that we were all packed in our old conference room together and we would go around and introduce ourselves. But in this new virtual world, that's really, really hard. So we're going to ask Deirdre to do that. Our process includes that our school system partners do all the minutes, so you don't have to take any notes. And we will also write this all down as an action plan for you. You can have a copy of all of those things, so don't feel like as we shout things out or we talk about agencies or names that you have to be writing that down, because we've got other people doing that. We just want to talk with you and see what we can do. So Deirdre, if you could just give us an idea of who's in the room, that would be fabulous. Thank you.
Absolutely. So good evening again, Mrs. Mockingham. And we have with us from Anne Arundel County Partnership for Children, Youth, and Families, Dr. Brown, who is the Executive Director, myself, the Cricket EC Cricket Coordinator, Jessica Krause, Administrative Coordinator, Tracy Cherry, Systems of Care Supervisor, Natalie Kishpe, Spanish-speaking navigator, and Isaac Colbert, who is the peer navigator. We also have Ashley Rodriguez, who is with Anne Arundel County Crisis Response System, Takesha Bivens with Department of Juvenile Services, Carmelina Gilberto with Department of Social Services, Kelly Mashaginas with Anne Arundel County Mental Health Department, Linda Donahue with the school system, Darlene Gamble with Anne Arundel Conflict Resolution Center, Michelle Green with Maryland Coalition of Families, Ashley Rodriguez with Anne Arundel County Crisis Response System, Brooke Hill with Doors, Kenya Sampson from Anne Arundel County Health Department, Catherine Madison from Adolescent Family Services, Georgia Noon Sherrod from Anne Arundel Conflict Resolution Center, Darlene Gamble, who is also from Anne Arundel Conflict Resolution Center, Sheila Coleman, also with Anne Arundel Conflict Resolution Center, Roxanne McGowan from Arundel Community Action, and Sharon Armstead from DDA.
A whole bunch of us, Mrs. Mockingham. So what we usually like to do to start is if you could just give us a snapshot of why you're here today, that would be really helpful. It doesn't have to be long, just give us an idea of what's going on for you.
A lot. Honestly, it's a lot. Well, as you know, my name is Gwen Mockingham, and I'm a single mom of two amazing kids. I have a 17-year-old. His name is Anthony, and he has been diagnosed with autism, and he is in the 8th grade. I also have a 14-year-old. Her name is Jennifer, and she is a 10th grader at North County High School. Um, Honestly, up until February of this year, I felt like I was making it. Me and my family, we had our routines. My daughter was doing well in school. My son, who is 100% nonverbal, he was in his routine and things were going well. Well, I lost my job in February. And because of that, I have literally been completely, it's been insane. I've been going back and forth between my twin sister's house, Diane, and she's in public housing, so we can't really stay there. And then we've been going to hotels. And if you know anything about kids with like a diagnosis like autism, they need structure. He needs to have everything the same way each and every day. And that's the complete opposite of what's happening right now. There are some days I don't know where we're gonna stay because my sister, she's afraid to get put out. It's a lot going on. So since February, not only have we become homeless, I've lost 2 jobs due to COVID. So the thing is, I'm a hardworking mom. I love to work and I love to take care of my family, but I literally don't have a job. I would get a job, I would lose it because of COVID. I would get another one, I would lose it. Thank goodness I just started working. So 2 days ago, I just got a job. But I don't know about you, but I am working. I'm a hardworking person, and losing one check for me will set me so far back, it's not even funny. So I went from getting a regular check every 2 weeks to getting nothing. And I don't know if you know about unemployment, but unemployment is not a game. Like I couldn't barely afford food half the time. Um, so I'm currently back to work 2 days ago, but a main issue that I'm dealing with right now is Anthony. He has really, really been acting out. He's a big guy. He is very strong. And I am at my wit's end because honestly, he needs adult supervision 24/7. I cannot give him that and work and provide and save money and pay for hotels. It's a lot. So I've been really just trying to see if I could get somebody to come in, and not to mention my medical assistance for me and my kids has been dropped. Like I don't even know what happened. I think probably between me moving from here to there, I haven't had a stable mailbox since February. So somewhere along the lines, and he has 3 kinds of medication. I don't.
Wow.
Medication is high. I don't have it. Um, so I've been trying to find affordable housing, and it does not exist in Anne Arundel County. I don't know what's up. Everywhere I'm going is 16, 17, $1,800 for a 1 bedroom. Like what? Like I can't do that. So it's me and my 2 kids, and I'm just trying to help us become stable. My daughter also she's gone from A's and B's last year and the year before that and the year before that. Now she's at C's and D's because she is not only helping me with life, she's helping me with Anthony. But I don't have any time for her. Like it is so bad. I literally give him my time all the time. So now I don't even have a chance to sit down with my daughter and say, baby, how's it going? Are you all right? Well, there's no help there. And I mean, and it's just a lot. And honestly, I'm not only afraid for Anthony, because he might hurt not only somebody else, but he could hurt me.
Sure.
And I can't. So it's a lot.
That is an awful lot. And let me say to you, Mrs. Mockingham, we talk to thousands of families who find themselves in a similar position from something really, really little. So it always seems to be like you just need one thing to go wrong, right? You just need to lose a job. And it's like a whole pile of cards come down all at
And
once.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I do gotta tell you one more thing. I have called everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I have called Department of Social Services. I have called Health Department. I have called the Children's Guild and this person and that person. And I have been tossed from this person to that person, from here to there, from there to here, and nobody is helping me. I've been, oh, well, we can't help you. Let me send you here. Oh, we can't help you. I don't know where else to go. So I'm grateful that y'all are like here and y'all are doing this thing. But I'm tired, and I don't know what to do. Like, I'm really frustrated. So if I sound frustrated, please forgive me. But it's a lot. Like, I love my family and I love taking care of my kids, but I can't do it by myself. So can you please help me? I am desperate. Whatever you need me to do, I will do it.
Well, we're going to do our very best, Mrs. Mockingham, as you've so well described. This is a very imperfect system, and it's a very fractured system, which is why we have to all get together in this way. So let me just ask you a couple of questions. So where were you? Where were you living in the county before you ended up in a hotel and lost your job? Where were you?
I was living at Chesapeake Glen Apartments in Glen Burnie.
In Glen Burnie, okay. And did you get evicted or did you just leave?
So I was actually, thank goodness, I was toward the end of my lease. So I was kind of able to finagle, but I still have like a little bit that I actually still owe them. It's not a lot. And I've been communicating with them because I'm going to have to pay that off. I'm guessing to go somewhere else, but it's not much. I think I may owe them like $1,200 or something.
Okay, so that's good. So you don't have an eviction on your record. That's a good thing because it's even harder for us to help, and I'm sure you probably know that from talking to other people. So that's a really good thing. Yeah. What you've been employed for 2 days. What are you doing now?
I am a medical assistant at a doctor's office, and I'm so excited just to be working again. But you know, when you don't get a paycheck the day you start work, so I'm like
yeah. So it sounds to me that what you really need, we usually start with roof over your head that's not a hotel, because obviously it's much better for your family if you're living in a house. We don't have a lot of programs for homeless families. Are you paying your own? Are you paying for the hotel?
Yeah, and the hotel is like $800 a week.
So that just makes it a bit more difficult, because federal regulations say if you're paying your own way in a hotel, you're not homeless. I know that sounds crazy. Yeah, I know that sounds crazy, and it is crazy, but we have to live with that. So let me just throw out to the team for a minute. So Diana, Ms. Mockingham's in North County. She's paying for a hotel. We need to get her out of there. We need a rapid rehousing program. What do you recommend? You're on mute. You're on mute, Di.
Good afternoon. Well, good evening. I would recommend, and thank you for sharing, Ms. Mockingham. I know how difficult that is. But I would like to recommend maybe Asia Woods, that has a rapid rehousing program with Arundel House of Hope. And maybe we could start there to see if she has any funding at this time.
So, Ms. Mockingham, rapid rehousing programs start with the house, and they get you a house first. Now I'm going to tell you, they're going to ask you loads and loads of questions. They're going to get in your business. They're going to want to know how much you're earning, what you owe, but they will work with you to create a budget to try to get you both into a house and a house you can afford. And that's rapid rehousing. We only have about 3 in the county. One's in Glen Burnie. Diana, do you know if Asia's got spaces at the moment?
It's the beginning. The year started July 1, so she may have some openings at this time. Cool. And then also she may be a candidate for the North County Prevention Program too, Pam.
Okay, cool. So we can probably help Ms. Mockingham with security deposit and first month's rent until we can get you on your feet. And then obviously over time, you'll start to pick up the things, right? Okay. Do you owe BG&E? Do you owe BG&E?
Yeah, I owe BG&E like $700. It's about $700.
Have you ever been to community action before to get your bill paid?
No, I've never heard of them.
Okay, good. So Community Action Agency can pay your bill, but they can only do it once in a year. So it's really, really good. Now, I don't know whether, and I don't know if is Roxanne on from Community Action? I don't see her. I think she was, but we can make that connection, Mrs. Mockingham. If she can't do the whole 700, there's probably a couple of agencies who can help with that on a one-time basis. We've got some money at the moment that we can use for bills, so we may be able to patch that together. So that's good. It's great that you've got a job. Let's just turn to your children for a minute. One of the things we're hearing from loads of families, not just yours, is how hard it is now. Our school system is virtual to manage disabled children. So we know that. And let me ask you while we're there, is your child registered with Department of Developmental Disabilities?
No, I heard about it through because my son, he goes to Phoenix Academy. He was there. It was a lot. I don't know, but yeah, somebody told me something about it. I don't know, and I have been going through so much. I can't remember what I applied for, what I didn't, but I remember hearing about it. But I don't know if I applied for it or not.
So let me ask Sharon, because Sharon's on the phone. Sharon's with DDA, which is Department of Developmental Disabilities. And Sharon, what would you advise for Mrs. Mockingham in terms of her son?
Ms. Mockingham, hello. This is Sharon Armstead from DDA. I just checked our system, and it does not look like you ever applied for services, DDA services. It's important that you do, because I do hear all of your frustration, and that you're looking for some type of in-home supports to help with managing, as well as some type of behavior assessments that could be done to help you with redirecting and helping in the household. But most
I need
importantly,
all of that.
yes, but most importantly, you must complete the DDA application. And Deirdre will be more than happy to provide you with my contact information, and I will be more than happy to walk you through the process. What you would need, just so that you're aware, is a most recent IEP along with a psychological evaluation, and I'm sure you can get that from the school system. I don't want to overwhelm you with a bunch of paperwork. That's why I'm saying I will be more than happy to assist you so that we can try to work with you to get some in-home supports. I must include that we are a Medicaid waiver system, so it's important that Anthony has active medical assistance.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's just a lot. I'm always giving him my attention, but I'm gonna do my best. Yeah, because I need help, so I gotta do it. So thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Ms. Mockingham, I'm going to go to the school system in a minute, but before I go there, let me just talk to Kenya, who's our Medicaid ombudsman, because it sounds like your MA, your Medicaid got dropped, right?
It did, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
that happens a lot to families. Medicaid is easy to get dropped. We hear it loads. So let me ask Kenya what's to do.
So it appears that her Medicaid, just prior to the pandemic starting, the state of emergency going in. So with that being said, Anne Arundel County Department of Health and our eligibility enrollment system, we're working all virtually. I will work with you, Ms. Mockingham, to have one of our case managers call you and work with you at a good time that's going to be ready for you, and we can see the information right online. We will help you through that. We will just answer some questions, and it'll just be a one-stop shop, and we'll have you walk through that. And then as a follow-up, once that's done, I will follow up with you to make sure you receive everything that you need to reinstate all of your care.
Thank you, y'all know everything. Go ahead,
okay. Thanks, Kenya. Appreciate
Welcome.
it. Hey, Linda, can you just give us a bit of an idea what's going on with special ed at the school system? Obviously, Anthony was getting some good care, but we're now in this virtual world.
Well, Anthony actually was referred to the non-public office for a non-public placement, and that process kind of got sidetracked, but it is in the works.
Good.
And some of the non-publics that would be appropriate for him are, well, one of the non-publics that would be appropriate for him is going to start some face-to-face, in-person instruction a couple of days a week at the end of September, beginning of October. So that might be a place that we make a referral to for him. So he'd have some structure, leaving, getting on the bus, going to school for a couple of days a week, and then he'd have some virtual instruction for the other days. That's what was kind of in the works, and I know that you're waiting to hear from different schools, but I'll make sure that we make a referral specifically to Linwood. It is a program that could meet his IEP.
Okay.
So I want to make sure that you have that possible resource.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
And
you.
they have behavior specialists who can meet with you and talk with you about what you're seeing in the home and what kinds of things that you can work on jointly. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, because it's been a lot.
Yeah.
It's huge. And
Yeah.
Ms. Mockingham, we're hearing from families all over the county. One of the things that people don't realize if they don't have disabled children is what a huge part our school system plays in serving disabled children, not just in special circumstances, but in their home and in a variety of other places. So when the school system went virtual, it added a level of enormous stress to families who were already under, just like you, under a load of stress, that they were also now dealing with, young adult disabled children who normally go off on the bus to school, have people coming in, all courtesy of our school system. So I think that that's been a terrible shock for many, many, many of our families. And I know our post school system has been working round the clock to try and get things back open and back going. It's very, very hard, but it sounds like at least there's something, even if it's just a couple of days a week, that's in the works for Anthony. So thank goodness for that.
Pam,
Yes.
Before I mute again, thinking of all of the things that Ms. Mockingham has to deal with, I wondered about some navigation services. If there might be somebody because she's just started a job and all of that, whether in fact that might be something that we could offer to her so that there would just be one point.
Yeah.
And somebody could help her.
So
yeah, I need help.
I'm definitely thinking about that. So in my shop, Ms. Mockingham, we have people called navigators who help families through services, and they act as like the coordinators so that you don't have to remember to work with Sharon or talk to Linda or Linda's people. They will help you walk through that system and you'll just have to deal with one person. So when we get to the end of all your list, Deirdre will make a note of all the things and she'll remind us all of what our job is. But somebody from Tracy Cherry's shop, who is my supervisor for navigation, will actually work with you to make sure that action plan goes into place. And I don't know if you want to talk that a little bit, Tracy.
Well, good evening again, Ms. Mockingham, and thank you again for sharing your story. And I just want to start by saying you're doing an excellent job being an advocate for yourself. You held it together real well. You should be proud of yourself. Your children are blessed to have you. Yes, we offer something called navigation. And myself or someone from our systems of care team will reach out to you. We will be in touch with you by the close of business tomorrow so that we can set up a time and around your schedule. We'll work around your schedule so that we can communicate. Of course, now everything is virtual. And in the other world, we would be coming out to the house or meeting someplace, or you come into our office. But what we'll do is we'll set up something and we can meet virtually. We can meet over the phone. And I will take the action plan and the goals that we set here tonight for the team, and we'll just work that plan together. We just want to partner with you and take some of the weight off of you, so take some things off of your plate and help you navigate this. I'll communicate with Linda and Sharon and everyone else on the team in Kenya to make sure that we're all working together to meet those goals for you and your family.
Okay.
Thanks, Trace.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Let's move to your other child, Miss Mockingham, because I think you said your daughter was having some struggles.
Yeah, she's really, I can tell she has been very quiet, very withdrawn. And then every time I ask her, well, how's it going? She's just like, I'm fine, you know, but she is right there to see me just about just about on the street, and she's helping with Anthony, and she is so wonderful, but it's a lot on her, and I don't want to pull on her. I'm a single mom. Like, I have no child support, nobody else to help me, and she unfortunately has become that person. So I really feel.
I mean, for those of us who are doing well, this is a depressing and anxious time. You know, we're all feeling that added strain of what's happening. But for a young person who's lost their home and who's trying to help you manage Anthony, it is an awful lot. Do you think it would help if she could talk to somebody who had some experience?
Yeah, because there's no school, so she doesn't have her friends to talk to. It's like she's in the house with us all the time. So yeah, any help for her would be great, just to let her know she's loved and she's important.
Let me talk to Kelly a minute. Is Kelly still on from mental health? Hey, Kelly.
Here. Hi, Kim.
Hey.
Hi, Miss Mockingham. I have a couple of questions for you. Do you think that your daughter would be willing to participate in therapy?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You do?
I think so. I think she needs somebody to talk to, and I'm not that right now. So
Okay. Well, that's a good starting place. Are you still in Glen Burnie? Is the hotel in Glen Burnie where you're staying at?
yeah.
Okay. Would it be easier for somebody to come to you, or do you think she would open up a little bit more if you went into an office environment?
I think if she could actually get out of here for just a second and go somewhere, that would be great. Because she's here all the time. So yeah, if she could leave, I don't mind getting her out.
Okay, great. So we actually have a wonderful provider with us on this call in Glen Burnie, and it's Adolescent and Family Services. So I'm going to default to her, and then is she 14 or 15? Can you remind me, please?
She's 14 because her birthday is until September this month. Yeah.
This month? Okay. So the day she turns 15, we have an awesome mentoring program that we just started this year. And it is actually a partnership that we have with the partnership. So Pam's agency. Ty runs that program, and it's for kids ages 15 to 21. So
she's about to turn 15. So yeah, that's
yeah. And this sounds, if she wants that socialization, this might be a great choice for her. So we're doing it virtually right now. In a normal world, we would be meeting at the YMCA in Arundel, and we provide transportation if you need it. We provide dinner. She's with other kids her age, and then she breaks off with her one-on-one mentor, and they work on whatever goals that they're working on in therapy. And sometimes that is socialization, so she may be with other kids in the mentoring program. So once we connect her with therapy, the day she turns 15, I can hook up with the therapist, and we can get that referral and get her started in mentoring.
That would be great. She would love that.
So meanwhile, Catherine, is there other things that Adolescent and Family Services can offer? You're on mute.
I apologize. So, hello, Ms. Mockingham. I am Catherine Madison. I'm the program manager at Adolescent and Family Services, and we see kids for therapy, 4 to 18, and we could probably get Jennifer in pretty quickly for services. Right now, we are doing therapy through telehealth, but we have her come in for an intake in person and meet her therapist and get a sense of our clinic and meet our friendly front office staff. And you know, it's a very warm, family-friendly environment. I think, you know, she'd enjoy getting connected there. It's, you know, I would just like to second the opinion that you're a wonderful mom doing an amazing job. I mean, your kids really are blessed to have you, and it's hard being in In a family where there's a child who has special needs, sometimes it's hard to be the child that doesn't have special needs. It's easy to get overlooked and to not feel like you can have needs of your own because the siblings' needs are so great. So if she's open to getting some therapy, I think that would be really helpful for her. She can just, well, your navigator can call the clinic and we can set up an appointment for her to get right in.
Okay, that would be great because
Certainly.
Yeah. So I think
There's another, I'm sorry. There's another thing that you might want to consider in addition to that is they're starting a new Strengthening Families program.
Oh, yeah.
14-week program for families, and they provide dinner, and with regular attendance, they give things like gift cards and gas cards. It's 14 weeks long, and there's a graduation at the end, but families get that through that program. They always report that they enjoy it a lot. It improves communication. It supports the parents. I know you're a single mom, and I think you'd really enjoy the company of other parents going through similar things. You'll get not only a lot of emotional support, but some good pointers. Some good tips that would help you get through some of the tougher times, how to work through some difficult behaviors and things like that.
Okay, yeah, that would be helpful because I don't really have anybody to talk to. My twin, she's busy with her life, and it's just me and my kids. So I don't really, yeah, that would be nice.
So let's talk about you for a minute, Mrs. Mockingham. How are you doing? How are you doing? We lost you.
I think you're muted.
You muted? No, she's not. I think we just lost her. Did we lose you, Mrs. Mockingham?
Hello?
Yeah, we got you.
Hello? Okay. I cry a lot. It's it's a weight to have to deal with this all the time. There's never a break. And I literally 99% of my time is with Anthony. The other 1% is with Jennifer, and then I don't even take care of me. I don't even know what that looks like right now. So I'm running on fumes, and I'm just crying out for help, and I don't know what else to do. So I'm not doing very well, but I'm making it. We gonna make it. That's all I know. So
I believe you. I think you are going to make it, and we're going to be as helpful as we can.
thank you.
Team, I've sort of run through the obvious things in my little brain, but are there things that I've missed that we need to talk to Mrs. Mockingham about that I missed off the list?
Yes, I think for her daughter, we can look into, and I'll help you with that. The Maryland Sibling Network. There's something called Sib Shops.
Oh, yeah.
And that will be a great support for your daughter. And she'll be around other children that have siblings with disabilities. And they have a good time. They eat, they cook, they talk to one another, and it's just their time. And they're specifically talking about themselves and not the sibling. So I'll give you that information, and you can see if she's interested in that. I think that they're doing Sib Shops virtually, and it is September. I was going to say there's one starting in September, but yeah. So I'll get you that information tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I want her to be happy. So.
Michelle with Maryland Coalition of Families, aren't there some parenting programs that can be of assistance with Ms. Mockingham?
I was going to go to Michelle. Thanks, dude.
Through the Maryland Coalition of Families, there's several things. Because we also do a lot of self-care workshops. We offer various parenting classes. We offer, it's a wide range. Right now we're virtual, but definitely I can really assist her, and she could contact me and just to have that lived experience.
So we'll put you under the list. Thank you, Michelle. What about SSI? Should we be applying for anything like that for Mrs. Mockingham? Should she be doing any? Kenya?
Yes, ma'am, she should be. She should be applying for the SSI for Anthony. And she may have previously, and what happens lots of times, if there's a denial or if there's information that's needed, a lot of the families kind of fall through the cracks. And, with her moving around, from place to place, it may have just, slipped through. But I would encourage her, if the navigator who was working with her, or if this family, Michelle Green, could actually help her start that process. I would encourage you to call them. The day you call them is the day your application starts, and then just kind of follow through with the process. I know it's going to be frustrating. We hate to give you one more phone number, but it's the way it has to be right now. Just to start the process, but we'll help you. We'll be here to help you with that.
Yeah, because I applied for him before, but I was denied, and I'm like, how you deny him? He can't speak. Like, that's my baby, but he can say.
We tell everybody, you got to be denied at least once. That's the rule. But we have a couple of pro bono attorneys that we know who will help you with the application. Now, they do take their fee out at the other end, you know that, but they will work for free as they help you with the application. So we might have to go down that road depending, if it gets complicated. So is there anything else I've missed out, guys?
Yes, this is Sharon from DDA. I was just wondering, I don't know if I missed it, if Anthony actually is on the autism waiver through the school system.
No, I'm just trying to get an income. I'm sorry, I ain't applied for a lot of this stuff, so forgive me. But no, I haven't. I don't. What's that?
So, Sharon, are you recommending that we help her with the autism?
Yeah, as well. Yeah, it's just to cover basis to make sure that she's applying for every service that's available to Anthony. And the autism waiver would be one. I mean, we all know there's a long, long waiting list.
I was going to say that.
To make sure that we're covering all bases.
Like multiple years, Ms. Mockingham. So it's not something that you can, not something you can think about.
Maybe I did that when he was young, but that was like 7 or 8 years ago.
Well,
will he still be on the list?
If you applied 7 or 8 years ago, your number might be coming up maybe in the next couple of years. But it does take that long because there are only so many slots in each state, in each jurisdiction, and the slots get filled and stay filled. So yeah, but it is a good idea to get him on the list for the waiver services if possible. That's something the navigator can help with.
I'm gonna need all that help.
We'll help you with all of that, Ms. Mockingham. Don't worry, we'll help you.
We got you. We got you. Did I miss anything else, guys?
Pam, this is Brooke from Doors.
Hey, Brooke.
Hi. So it may not be appropriate right now, Ms. Mockingham, but down the line, in regards to Anthony looking for employment, as he gets older, and I know you want him to be, as successful and independent as possible. Doors is a state agency that works with people with disabilities with obtaining and maintaining employment. So it may be something that may be appropriate for Anthony as well. He does qualify for pre-ed services, which is services to students in high school. So if the navigator wants to put in a referral, somebody from our office will be in touch, just to go over what the options are now.
Okay.
Well, thanks, Brooke. We'll make a note of that. I forgot, and I didn't mean to forget about Doors, but I did forget about Doors, so thank you. Is there anything else I've forgotten?
Yeah, and this is Carmelina from DSS.
Hey, Carmelina.
Hi. Tracy, I know you're going to be working with mom and the family, but if I know we've connected in the past, with other families, if you feel that family preservation is needed for more intensive services, let's connect so we can make that referral for mom. Right now, we don't have a wait list. And just Ms. Mockingham, so I'm with family preservation through the Department of Social Services. And with our program, you're paired with a social worker and a family support worker just to help link you and your family up to any community resources and be an advocate for all these other community providers that majority are here tonight.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Sure.
Thank
But
you
definitely
all.
don't want to overwhelm you all at once.
So we're going to start with a light touch. We're going to start with navigation. If down the road problems get deeper and harder and harsher, we'll talk to Carmelina. They're always there for us when we need them. And so we've always had a wonderful partnership, and that's a completely voluntary service. Family preservation, you don't have to accept it. It's completely voluntary on the family's behalf. Is there anything else, guys?
Hey Pam, this is Georgia.
Hey, Georgia.
So Ms. Mockingham, thank you for joining the call. I really have a question of clarification for Pam as far as additional resource. Can we also in the navigation put on there speaking to ACDS and the eviction prevention program? Something that Ms. Mockingham mentioned early on was you asked the question about clarifying whether or not she was evicted from her previous residence. And I do know that we've been working with Catherine Koch and her staff around developing plans for families that owe back rent. And so that we don't end up in a situation where her credit is damaged or she's not able to rent in the future. We definitely need to put that in the plan as well to see if there's some way that we can assist her with getting the back rent paid. And that's one place I would suggest starting, is talking to those folks to see if that's available.
And we'll
that was so helpful. Thank you. I would need that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll dig into that a bit, Georgia, and see if we can figure out if there are issues that particular piece can help us with. There usually is, so we'll do that as well. We'll put that on the list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you very much. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Well, that's a lot, Mrs. Mockingham, right? It's a lot to deal with. So I'm going to ask Deirdre, this is not for your benefit, this is for all of our benefit, so we know what we've said. But when Deirdre runs down this list, she'll give that copy to Tracy in my shop, and Tracy will work with all of the various agencies who volunteered services so that you don't get overwhelmed with all that stuff. We're going to go for housing first. We're going to try and get the Rapidary housing going first, because obviously living in the hotel just makes everything way more complex. Mm-hmm. By the way, I didn't ask you if you've got transportation.
Yeah, that was the one thing I was able to keep. I lost my place, but I do have.
At least you kept your car. I'm telling you, you got to have a car, right?
Yeah, thank God.
Yep. And so I think we were lucky tonight. There were a lot of spaces and a lot of help. It's not always so easy for families. And I think you can see, Mrs. Mockingham, our system is all over the place. It's in lots of different houses, in lots of different places with lots of different people, which is why we started the cricket team. So Deirdre, do you want to run it down?
Sure. So as Dr. Brown stated, a majority of this will fall under family navigation. So family navigation services will be initiated, which will help with rental assistance via Rapidary housing. That'll be discussed with you further from a family navigator. The family navigator or myself will make a referral to Adolescent and Family Services in the mentoring program run by Kelly. Catherine Madison has offered services. The family navigator will consult with you, Mrs. Mockingham, and Catherine to set up an appointment, as well as making a referral to Strengthening Families program. In addition to the Snapshot, excuse me, which is the Maryland Sibling Network. As far as ACDS and eviction prevention, Georgia Noon Sherrod can assist with looking at your back rent getting paid and helping with any other credit repair issues. I will put you in contact with Roxanne McGowan, who can help with the BGE bill, and she's from the Community Action Agency. Ms. Mockingham, you will need to apply for services with DDA. I will send the contact information of Sharon Armstead to you, and I'll also give Sharon your contact information. And family navigators will also work with you to help you make those applications and apply for the Autism Waiver. Kenya Sampson will work with you to figure out the MA issues and work to get your insurance reinstated, as well as applying for SSDI for Anthony. Linda Donahue from the school system will make a referral to Linwood for specialized schooling and look at what other options may be available to assist Anthony with his educational needs. Michelle Green will get a referral from myself so that you can be put into parenting classes and or parental support programs. Brooke with Doors suggests that an application be made to assist Anthony with employment assistance and pre-ed services, and the family navigator will speak with you further because that's something that may happen over time and not right away. And if there are other interests as far as more navigation type services, Carmelita from DSS can also assist with family preservation services if that's something you're interested in, that will allow you to have another advocate.
Okay. Thank you.
So obviously we're on this, Mrs. Mockingham. We're going to stay with you. We're going to work this through with you, and hopefully we'll get you to a better place where things will be a lot better. You're a very brave woman. Our hat is off to you. You're doing a fine, fine job. And you just got to keep doing it. And maybe down the road, we can help you find a bit of time for yourself, right?
Yes, that would be wonderful.
R&R just for yourself, right? So
I can't even imagine.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you being with us this afternoon. You can always come back. If none of this works and we do a terrible job, you can call us and say, I want to come back to that team and talk to you all again. That stuff didn't work. Okay?
And thank you, and thank everybody. I'm telling you, I felt like I spoke with everybody, but you all were so helpful. So thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome. And that, Mr. County Executive, is cricket. You're on mute.
Okay. Oh no, I still need to push this button, don't I? Oh no, I'm unmuted. Okay. Yes, what I said was wow. And that's amazing. And I don't know how anybody could listen to that and not get a little teary and also a little inspired. I mean, you went through at least a dozen different areas. It's complicated. It shows how complicated it is, and how necessary this is. And I also have to thank Mrs. Mockingham, because Gwen, you're a great actress. You should, but and I think it's because you've been through so many of these. It was just completely real. The ones I sat through, you were spot on. I was thinking, well, and then the highlight for me, and the part that really got me kind of a little teary, was when Tracy, and then Catherine, you backed her up on it and said the same thing. When you said, your children are blessed to have you. Because when you put yourself in Mrs. Mockingham's shoes, it's not what you're thinking. You're thinking you failed. And when somebody says that to you, it's not what you expect to hear from a social worker, from the government. But it's exactly what she needed to hear. And you could just feel everybody in this team embracing her. I can only imagine what it's like doing this in person. It's probably more efficient this way, but so I guess the only other thing I want to say is that, when you sit there and you do the math, even on an $11 an hour job, that's like $1,761 a month, according to my rough calculations. And if you're lucky enough to get an apartment for $1,200 a month, that leaves about $560 a month for everything else. I mean, it's a system set up for people to fail. $15 an hour, which is what, the Maryland General Assembly has us headed towards within a few years, gets you to $2,400 a month, which means that $1,200 rent leaves you another $1,200, which is more than double what you would have had for your expenses at $11 an hour left over after rent. Makes it a lot more likely that people can succeed. Bottom line is people aren't getting paid enough when they work. And I think most of your clients are working, which is incredible that you can be working and still not able to make it. So that has to get fixed. And then the other thing that it shocked me when I came into this office, I sort of knew it coming in, but going through the budget process and seeing how little money local government spends on these kinds of problems. And most of it is covered by federal, some by state, very little by local. And there's sort of an assumption that local people don't want to pay for this kind of stuff. And I remember when I was studying political science and social science in college, hearing about how, there was this thing called the war on poverty, but nobody does that anymore, because you can't get away with it politically. You can't say that you're going to fund helping people get out of poverty. You have to say it's for the middle class so people can identify with it. And I don't think that's completely true anymore. I think that people are starting to realize we're all connected. This pandemic has made it clear to people that we're all connected. Our health is connected. And I do think that people have some compassion and want to support this kind of work. And so we have to do more of it. It's why we started a new rental assistance program in the county. And I kind of asked all of you department heads to come in and be creative in the first budget. And people are starting to get more creative. And we're lucky this year we got the CARES Act money to be able to fill some of the gaps. But we're going to have to get serious about funding some of the support, because that's the way you build the economy, is from the bottom up. And if our working people can't survive, they can't work, and then our businesses can't operate. So we've got to have affordable housing. We've got to have transportation. You go down this whole list, mental health services, and a great school system, which is hustling. And I'm so thrilled to see the way the school system is working with this team, and how much of the important work is the kids. The parents can get by when their kids are doing okay, but when their kids aren't doing okay, the parents can't get by. And so investing in our schools is so obvious that it's absolutely essential. So it's a frustrating world we live in, that it's so difficult to solve these problems. But I really have some optimism that we're in a moment of change in the country, in the county, and in the state, and that we're going to be able to do better for these families. And I just want to thank all of you for always being so compassionate, and just you keep on trying when it just seems like there's no end in sight, and just you help each person as best you can, and it's so appreciated. So thank you. You all are great.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. See you next week. For the real thing.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.